It's today too. My voice is raspy. I had absolutely no intention of being out as late as I was. I think we got back, it was almost 5 o'clock in the morning. And so I sound like a grown man. But surprisingly, I mixed so many drinks last night, unintentionally, with all the different places that we stopped. We met a whole bunch of random people. Today's gonna be so chill. We're going to a plantation, and the plantation tour is from the perspective of the enslaved people who lived and worked on that plantation. And so this is going to be quite interesting. And then after that, we are coming back and preparing for dinner. Okay, so we are at the Whitney plantation, and you see I got my earbuds on because it is a self-guided tour, and they give you a little device that basically allows you to listen to the history while you walk throughout the plantation. I made a possum before here. Yeah, and that part about the putting you in a box full of nails.
Yeah.
And I'll just be like, and then the little boy, how they pour salt in his room, and he was only 10 years old. Yeah. I can't even imagine my own son.
That's crazy. I know Atlanta had got burned down.
Yeah.
But like Savannah, I'm like
everything.
It's been a treat that somebody was hung
on every time. Mm-hmm. Every time I can't not see it.
Yeah.
Like, just standing over here is just so eerie. It's super quiet, but it's just eerie for me. It's like freezing inside of here, and we are basically outside. As soon as we step out here, it is like, it's decent. But when we're in here, it's like...
it's eerily cold.
Yeah.
I mean,
scary cold.
How do you go inside and it's like the temp drop like 10 degrees?
Yeah. Pretty grueling work. I can only imagine what it would look like with snakes and possible gators and any other kind of animals creeping through here while you're trying to work. So this is like an example of like how wide sugarcane fields, or how much space you probably had while you was working in the sugarcane fields. It's not that much space, to be honest. Sugarcane obviously grew to be fairly high, and I'm pretty sure it can get much higher than this. But this is kind of like an example. So I just want to like go ahead and start by saying, like, we always talk about what we would do and what we wouldn't do in certain situations, but learning about the reasons why some enslaved people did not choose to rebel just because they had to think about the other family members that will remain on the plantation in the event that something happened to them. That's a pretty good damn reason to choose to not be involved. But then there were those who said, death is better than being enslaved, and they decided that they were going to fight with their lives. And that was also a very good reason, or they had good reasoning for that as well. It's a noble cause. And to just think about like the sacrifice they made, the pain that they had to be, going through, that they had to endure, and they knew this ahead of time and still decided that it was worth it. For me, it's no judgment, regardless of what side you think you will fall on, whether you would do the safe thing for your family or whether you would choose to be a person that took part in the rebellion. I can definitely understand both sides. Them people sacrifice, and I mean the greatest sacrifice. They had the greatest sacrifice. Regardless of whether they succeeded or not, they sacrificed, and they should be honored. If I look wore out, that's because I am. It was definitely an experience. It was one of those experiences where like you're excited to go and you're excited to get there because you want to either like reaffirm the history that you already know, or you want to learn, little details that you didn't know. Nonetheless, it was still definitely worth it. I thought that when I first looked at it and we first booked it, I thought 3 or 4 hours being gone, possibly 5 hours being gone, was just going to be like entirely too long. I wasn't sure if I was going to make it, if I was going to like it. But truth be told, like, it honestly seemed like we could have went on and on forever. It did not seem like that much time passed. However, it's almost like once you get there and you're really like inhaling it all and you're seeing like evidence of like real people who really existed, who really lived that life, who this is where they lived, this is the bed they slept in, this is the chores they had to do every day, from sun up to sundown. Like when you get to like see the people, their names, read like their actual like quotes from real life, their quoted accounts of what really went on, it's heavy. It's really, really, really heavy. Even though we were at the Whitney tour, the Whitney plantation, we ended up passing by several other plantations in the area. And the fact that it was so many plantations, but at the same time, like when you look around, even outside of the plantations, it was still so very isolated. Like it was isolated. It kind of gives you perspective of like people, well, why didn't they just run? I mean, some of them did. There were Maroons who lived in the bayous, but people have to realize like when you look at like the amount of forest, it's like you could literally be running for days and not even scrape the surface of like getting away. It was just miles and miles and miles and miles of forest. It was draining to my energy because you could definitely feel like all different kinds of just energy there. It was obvious. If you black, it's and you're in the New Orleans area, the Whitney Plantation tour is definitely something that I would suggest going to like see, because yeah, it was much needed history there. So with that being said, we also went to Cafe Du Monde afterwards. and got ourselves some beignets and some hot chocolate. And I'm going to use the next hour and a half, next hour really, to get ready for dinner. So see you later. Have a good one. See you to the next episode.